Hello, Money Queens and listeners. Welcome to Women Behind the Millions. Let's meet the women behind the millionaires, the women supporting, guiding, celebrating women with their wealth. You will hear from women millionaires, how they got there, what they wish they had known, what got them to be a millionaire, the emotional side, the spiritual side, the practical side of wealth. You'll also get to meet the women behind the scenes helping make it happen. Let's dive into Women Behind the Millions. I am Jessica Weaver, your host, best-selling author of 3 books, wealth advisor, and founder of the Women's Wealth Boutique. Let's start meeting the women. Hello, Money Queens. Welcome back to Women Behind the Millions, where we talk all things power, pink, and prosperity. Tonight is about when resilience isn't even an option. Let's be honest. So many times women, we find ourselves in this situation and we think, how the hell am I going to get through this situation? But you do time and time again. And tonight's guest is a beautiful example of this, and not just getting through it, but creating a life that she loves, and probably a pinch me moment that she's able to have such a beautiful work that she's proud of and impacting so many lives. Quick shout out to the Pink Code, which is now available. You can scan the QR code and grab your copy today on Amazon. It is a bestseller, a top new release. So please join in, because all of the book proceeds go towards our scholarship fund, where we give money to a young woman studying finance in college. So it is a huge resource that just keeps giving back to our beautiful industry and really trying to make that change to get more women into the industry. And that's what Financial Trendsetters is all about. We have with us another author from Financial Trendsetters, 4 with us tonight. And I love this one quote from her chapter in the book. Once I stopped shaming myself and started sharing my situation with others, I became a source of hope for them. And that is so true. We do shame ourselves. We make ourselves feel horrible about situations we've been put in, decisions we've made, that we don't have enough money, our business isn't built big enough. But when we can stop doing that in this negative thought cycle, what we can do, and it's a lot of what the Pink Code is about. And so much of the Pink Code is from these incredible women from the TV show that have inspired me, and how I've taken what they've told me into my own life and seen these miracles happening all the time. So let's get into who our guest is tonight. We have with us Moya Campbell. She is from Savannah. She's a native there and partner of VP of Lighthouse Financial Group, a firm dedicated to helping families find confidence and peace in retirement. As part of a mother-daughter leadership team and a proud mother of 3, she's passionate about serving others, building relationships, and creating lasting impact. And boy, does she create lasting impact within her community. So let's bring Moya to the stage. Hello, Moya. How are you tonight?
I'm awesome, Jessica. I'm excited to be here with you.
Oh, it's so great to see you. I'm curious if anything has changed in your life since Financial Trendsetters 4 has come out.
I mean, nothing big has really changed other than like my own perception. I mean, you shared a little bit about my story. So I've had to, really get past things. And even just with the book launch now, I've just had so much support in the community, and it's just made me even more proud about myself and see what more impact I can have to help others. And that, I think a lot of times that I feel like, like my situation is my situation. A lot of women, our situation, and never realize how it can help someone else. And so many people have been so inspired. It's like, oh, it's kind of a big deal. And so it's made me like, Moya, like, congratulate yourself, celebrate.
Yes. I mean, the ripple effect, you're right. Getting your story out there, one, it's very courageous. We're leaving our comfort zone. I feel like sometimes you're walking around naked because people that you don't know a whole lot about you that you didn't tell them about yourself. But through the book, through storytelling and to be that inspiration, it's great to hear the community support too, because you really don't realize how many people are tuned into you and watching you and supporting you, cheerleading for you until something like a book comes out. And then people come out of the woodwork saying, this is incredible.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly right. It's so much of a bigger deal to others than it was to me, it seems like. And so now I'm like, oh, this is important.
What if you stepped outside your everyday life long enough to see just how big your next chapter could be? This November, we're taking the C-Suite retreat to Rhode Island. We'll be in Newport, surrounded by old money elegance, iconic mansions, and generations of women and families who dared to build something that lasted. Let it open your mind to a bigger question. What are you here to build? Then we'll retreat to a beach house right on the ocean for a day dedicated to you. Healing what's been holding you back, dreaming bigger in your business, creating your next vision, and connecting with women who understand that success is about so much more than a number. Come for the strategy, come for the healing, come for the conversations that change what you believe is possible. The C-Suite Retreat, Rhode Island, November 2026. Your next era is waiting. Your story is such a profound example of resiliency, as I spoke about earlier, and navigating. You had your child's medical crisis, carrying the financial responsibility and the weight of it, rebuilding your life during some of the most emotionally and financially traumatic times of your life. You remind me, like, resiliency, it's a muscle, and the more you strengthen it, the more you're able to lean on it and go through these different stages of your life for it too. But can you share a little bit about the story that you share within your chapter of Financial Trendsetters 4?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah, and there's a little more on it is, so the business, my mother started this company a little over 20 years ago, and I decided to come and join her. I would say about a year after I joined her in 2007, my son, I have 3 children, but that's not only I had to do. My middle son, he started having seizures around 15 months. And so they called it like a febrile seizure. Children with fever sometimes will have seizure. But by the time he was about 3.5, he had a grand mal seizure that put him in the ICU. They couldn't stop him from seizing. I had to keep pumping him with meds. And from there, it became kind of our journey on trying to figure out Julius's epilepsy and what was going on. He would have these absent seizures and different types, and it all escalated to when he was 10 years old in 2017, he had to have brain surgery. There had been a lot of different back and forth going to different hospitals. But we ended up being at Nicholas Children's Hospital in Miami. And I don't know if I put this in, I think I did put it in the book. It was during Hurricane Irma as well. So literally Hurricane Irma hit 2 days after he had his surgery in Miami. But that hospital is a hospital for like a safe haven for people to come, children, and can withstand the wind. So we were kind of stuck there at the hospital, for which we were already going to be there for a week because of him. But I was also navigating some hard times in my marriage. I had been married from a very young age of 20, and my ex-husband now had a bad time with alcohol, and so he really was a true alcoholic. I believe alcoholism is a disease. I use Al-Anon as a way really to help me have the courage to understand what we were going through, understand why I felt so lonely, why I was just struggling all the time. And him and I just had the worst relationship, and it became abusive, and it just became something really toxic for us and for my children. And so navigating this relationship with my husband on top of my son having seizures, and then trying to run my own business as well and take care of 2 other children was just really hard. And escalated to where I finally came to a point. Julius had his surgery. He was recovering. He was doing well. And so I'm so thankful that my son, I'll just go ahead and say he's seizure-free now. He's actually not even on medication. And he is 19 years old. He works full time. it's so amazing. My clients, people just supported me so much through that time, but not knowing that, I didn't know that, this was going to be the case 9 years ago, that now I'd be feeling so good. And I decided to leave my ex, but it was just me and my kids I just had to walk away from everything. In the book, I share about me being in retirement planning. I understand what it takes to get there, but I'm self-employed, and my ex-husband had a great job. He worked with a company with really good benefits, great 401k match, actually has a pension, which many we know don't have anymore. And so him and our focus was building the retirement plan on his side, and we were building funds on his side. I didn't have the guarantees in my life. And but when it came time to get out of that marriage, I just needed to be out. I didn't ask for support. I would have, but I just needed him to sign the paperwork. And he did. And so my kids and I was kind of left with nothing but a bunch of debt. But slowly started to build. And, Jessica, I was scared. I was so scared for so many years, I think, to be financially independent because I was self-employed. And I don't want to say that's why I didn't leave because, all of women, all of us, period, we do things when it's the right time. But I absolutely knew I was so scared. And what I found is I have done so much better being financially independent. Like my business became so much better. I mean, it was hard for the first few years, but once I took time to grind in and no longer had all this negativity, I was able to really focus. And yeah, I've been able to provide so much of a better life for myself and my kids now than I ever was able to before when I was married.
Wow. You talk about this. I had a desperate call from one of my clients going through divorce, and she feels like she was taken advantage of in mediation. She didn't have her advocate there, even though her attorney was there, very upset. And I said, no matter what, we'll call her Amy, you will be so much better off financially once this is done. I don't care if you're leaving money on the table because it is a huge anchor to you right now. And it was getting down just to, thousands of dollars, which I understand when you're in that state, it's a lot. But I can see exactly what you're saying, Moya. It's getting past that so you can start rebuilding a stronger foundation to build up for that, like even emotionally. Just go, do it.
You have to, and it's hard. And when you're in it, like I can say this now, but 9 years ago when I was in the thick of it, it was just day to day. It was just survival mode. And I think as women, we have to know that's okay. Sometimes we might be in survival mode, but we're not going to stay in survival mode. We're just doing what we have to do to get to where we want to be. And, now looking back, I just makes me realize like, I feel so strong. I feel like anything could come at me and I can handle it because like you said, maybe the resilience, it's like a muscle and you just keep on going. And then you share that with others, like, with your client, you already knew because you've dealt with other people. Even if she's leaving money on the table, even when we have to walk away and it's going to be hard for a little while, we're going to be better on the other side of it. We're following what's true for us. We're staying in alignment with ourselves. That's what we really need. And I'm really thankful now. Sometimes I even look back, I'm thankful for the struggle because I've been there and I know what it's like to be there and I won't be back.
I'm glad you said that. When you feel that's the point when you've made it. When you can look back on that moment, those moments in your life and that whole journey that you thought was going to break you multiple times and be grateful for it. That's the bit where you have healed. You can see the change that you've had and experienced and you can show up so differently for people. And just a light that they can see, like that lighthouse and move towards is incredible. I know another one of my friends was going through divorce. I'm like, financially, this will be your best decision you've ever made.
I mean, when you get rid, I thought about that, like the things that I've done since I've been divorced. And I mean, my income, it's just mind boggling to me how much better I do now. And it's also because I'm only managing for myself, I guess. But also it's like you said, it is an anchor. It is an anchor weighing you down. And it doesn't matter if it's a man or it's sickness, whatever it is. When we have these things on us that are weighing us down, we're not able to completely focus. We're not able to really dial into our businesses or dial into ourselves to just be who we want to be financially, emotionally, spiritually. We really want to be whole and we have to get rid of all that negativity.
Yes. And you talk about your one chapter, it opens up with get comfortable being uncomfortable. What if the life you're dreaming about isn't too big? What if the wealth, impact, legacy, and purpose on your heart were placed there for a reason? For too long, women have been taught to shrink themselves, to choose practicality over possibility, to dim their light instead of letting it shine. But what if the answer isn't less? What if the answer is more? More faith, more creation, more expansion, more of who God created you to be. The Pink Code is an invitation to step beyond limiting beliefs and into a life of limitless possibility. Because your story isn't finished. Your next chapter starts now, and your blank page is full of possibility. The Pink Code, coming this July. What does that mean to you now, having gone through all of that? and walk through it.
Oh my goodness. I use that all the time. I use it for myself, even with work, because there'll be something new coming up and I don't want to do it. And I'm not really comfortable. And I used to have a really hard time. I hated public speaking, even though I love people. I'm super social. I hated being in front of everybody up on speaking. And so now it's just always like, get comfortable being uncomfortable, Moya. Like, this is just your permanent state, because that's when things start happening. Like, when you realize you push out of the comfort zone, that's when the big stuff happens. That's when you're able to realize, like, oh, I did it. Like, now I get to be proud of myself because I proved to myself that I could do it. But I had to be uncomfortable first. And sitting in that uncomfort is not always easy.
No.
But it's like, you know what? I got to just keep moving forward.
And sometimes staying in that comfort zone is even more uncomfortable in the end than just one of the authors said, what did she say? Jump or get pushed. It's like, take the leap or you're going to get pushed out.
So like, do it on your own terms, right?
That's the full quote. Do it on your own terms. Exactly, Moya. I would love to hear this journey of you and your mother and working together, and you have, seems like, a beautiful relationship now. So when did you join forces with your mom, and what has that journey been like for you?
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. So she started the firm just kind of out of more on the insurance side, because some things that happened with her parents. And I guess I was in my late early 20s, and I was living in Atlanta, but it was like 2007. I was 25 years old, and I just said, and she needed help. She was just kind of a one-woman show. And she's like, move back to Savannah, like, come back down here. We had gotten a little bit closer. And I was like, sure. Like, I was living in Atlanta. My ex and I were, where daycare was so expensive. I had just graduated, I think 2 years earlier than that from college. So I moved to Savannah, and she was living in her house, and the office was in her home, and it was just the two of us. And we would do like seminars, and we were just kind of more of an insurance only firm at the time. And we just slowly built it together. A year later, we moved into our first office. A few years from that, we moved into a bigger office and just built Lighthouse. We became she got her securities license. And so then we became a full service financial planning firm, but still focusing on retirement planning. Now, my mom is she's a force, and we have both just had a lot of life. Like, I've actually had a lot of life happen from the story that we're sharing, but she has as well. And the two of us really bring exactly who we are to our clients. What you see is what you get. Like, we're not going to pretend to be something we're not. And so they've been able to really become part of our family as well. A lot of our clients, it's not the Lighthouse. You're not a client. You're like part of the Lighthouse family now. But her and I have had a lot of transitions. Obviously, as a mother and daughter, working so closely together, there was a lot. Like, it took me some time, I think, also to I hate to say step up to her or become like the equal to her, because she's my mom, and I was used to whatever mom says, it's right, and whatever mom says goes. And but as I'm navigating and learning things, I'm like, I don't think that's the way we should do things. And so her and I have had to learn a lot, just between our own communication with one another. But I will say, actually during COVID, people always talk about in 2020 how that was, for so many industries, it was difficult. And her and I were like, it wasn't one of our best years in business, obviously, but for us, it became one of the best years because we realized that was the year that we got on the same page completely. And just like our relationship in all levels, like our personal, our professional relationship, because I'm so close to my mom. We're so many things to each other. I mean, she's my mother. She's basically like my best friend and my confidant. Now she's my business partner as well. And so it's really been awesome being able to do this with her. I don't take it for granted because there's so many parents, children, mother-daughter relationship they wouldn't be able to do the same thing. But her and I are able to kind of leave work at work. And then when we're upset with each other, we get past it. But and we're both so passionate about it because it's our livelihood to each other, like for ourselves, but also for one another. And then now what we've been able to create, bringing other people in and taking care of our clients, it's just a huge honor, really. I feel really, really grateful. It's hard work. And you know that too. Like, you have your own business and you're out there and you're grinding, you're hustling, but I just feel like it's such an honor because I get to do it alongside my mother. I get to really make a difference and help people. And, I don't think it's just for everybody, but I feel special that I was chosen for it.
Yes. You know, there are a lot of dynamics going on there, from the business partners to that mother-daughter relationship. And then you also are very close friendship-wise for it too. And I worked with my father for several years, so I understand that there are things, but kudos to you for working through them and finding ways to figure it out and to communicate better instead of letting things fester. Another really powerful story that stood out more to me was the story about Poodle, somebody who said they would never be your client, right? They would never be your client, becoming a lifelong friend. And then somebody that you even went to her funeral and spoke about her, right?
Poodle was very special to me. She was one of the first people that became a client when I first joined my mom. It's funny because when she was alive, they used to argue saying that she joined the firm before I did. And I was like, no, I remember specifically the day we met her, but I just let them have it. It was like my mom and I are 20 years apart, and Poodle was 20 years older than my mother. And we would spend a lot of time together, but because I was so young, and she was actually a psychologist that used to do a lot of training with companies, and she did a lot of child psychology. So me being also a young mother, I just gravitated to her, and she was so strong. She was just such a strong woman. She represented so many things that I felt like I wanted to be one day. And we just grew so close over the years, and I knew almost everything about this woman. And when she started in 2017, she started getting sick, and she had cancer. And I was there with her all the time. She actually, her home was only about 10, 12 minutes from mine. And so I would go spend time with her. I got to know really a lot of her family, and making sure that her wishes, because she's the only woman I ever knew that actually, she planned out her entire funeral completely. It was, and everything kind of followed suit the way she wanted to. She did a whole program, and yes, I was part of her program. And it was really, really sweet because I knew so much about her. And in our business, we really get to know so much about the inner workings of families and their children and the family drama, or just because I become that person for them to bounce ideas on. And so I knew so much about Poodle and so many people, because she didn't have children. So she had so many beneficiaries and just so many people that were going to be coming around. And I got up there to speak, and that's what I said to them. I said, I stand here before you. I loved Poodle so much. She was so special to me. And I feel like I know most of you in here already because of the story she shared and how much time we spent together. I said, y'all don't know me from a can of paint, but I just want you to know how loved you were and how grateful I am that I got to be a part of her life as well. And afterwards, yes, so many people came up to me and they're like, we know exactly who you are, Moya. And so it felt so good, because I honestly do feel like she was the closest woman I've as a mentor, other than an actual relative of mine, a grandmother and my mom. And I'm grateful to Lighthouse that brought me that relationship.
I say, yeah, most of the time we don't have somebody that close to us, and such perspective on life she must have had, especially at that time, knowing what she was going through, and to prioritize spending time with her, because most people wouldn't. We're too busy.
Right.
Wouldn't find the time to do it, or they'll do it just because they out of duty or obligation, versus wanting to.
Right.
Time and get to know her too. It's a beautiful relationship, and I'm sorry about the loss.
Thank you. It really was. And we have, a lot. That's kind of the way that I want to operate. So I only want to work with people I really do like, because I want to see them. I want to spend time with them. I want to be that person for them when they need someone.
That's true. Yes. Life is too short to work with people we don't want to work with.
Yes, absolutely.
Or nightmares versus, genuine people who care and that we care about. Absolutely. Well, I started the episode talking about your quote, "Once I stopped shaming myself and started sharing my situation with others, I became a source of hope for them." What changed for you? What was that kind of light bulb moment where I need to start talking about this story?
Well, it was more so when I realized that, we have women come in here. We work with all types of people, but I've listened to so many stories, not exactly like mine, but similar. A lot of stories of shame and divorce, or women just realizing they'll come and say, I'm so stupid, I don't know anything. Or they're like so meek and, I don't know anything and I was just stupid. And it's like, no, you weren't. Like, and it's okay. And it's okay if you didn't know at 20 and if you're 40 now and you're starting fresh. And so I just started realizing when people would sit across the table from me and they would share about how they feel like they're not where they're supposed to be yet and they haven't saved enough or they haven't made the right decisions. And they would then look at me or look at Wendy like, y'all have it all put together. And at that, it's like, no, I absolutely do not have it all put together. Like, I know what I'm doing here, but I still have my own life that I'm navigating through. And it actually just made me realize then I could even be my more authentic self. I could be even better for someone if I'm able to share my own story with them and say, look, I was there and I'm rebuilding now. And these are the steps I'm taking. And this is where I'm going to be because I don't have any doubt of what my future holds for me. I don't have any doubt that I'm going to hit the goals and I'm going to achieve what I want. And so for so many, they're just like, oh my goodness, like it helped them to realize they can do the same thing.
Yes. So true. Well, thank you for being courageous enough to share your story and to get it out there. We just have one more question for you, Moya. Are you ready?
Yes.
What makes you a woman behind the millions?
Ooh, I love that. So a woman behind the millions. Well, because, I am a successful business owner and I plan to continue to just grow Lighthouse. And I want to be a woman that shares her story with others. I want to be a woman that is inspiring others, and also a confidant for them or a helper for them. Like learn from some of my mistakes so that way you don't have to make those same mistakes. And I'm going to continue to climb. Like the world is going to continue to see more of Moya. This to me is just the beginning. And so I'm a woman. I'm not a millionaire yet, but I will be that woman behind the millions because it's not about the money. It's also about the people and the stories and the time and the effort and the care that we put out there into the world. And so that's what makes me a woman behind the millions.
That's beautiful. Earlier today, we have a little Bible study at our firm, and we were talking about how do we use this money to make somebody else's life better? How do we have the biggest impact? And to me, that's not as $1 million in the bank account, but that millionaire mindset of how do we multiply this? How do we multiply not just the money, but the impact behind it? And that is what makes you a woman behind the millions. And I'm so grateful for you to be here to spend some time with us tonight for your powerful chapter in Financial Trendsetters 4. So thank you so much for being part of this journey and for being one of our trendsetters. And it's awesome.
Thank you so much, Jessica. This is awesome. I appreciate it.
Oh my goodness, of course. Thank you for being here. And thank you to all of our viewers and watchers of Women Behind the Millions. We're really grateful for you. The show just keeps blowing up and we're getting more and more, thousands more views every single week, every single month for it too. So thank you. And we'll see you on our next episode where we see another one of our Financial Trendsetters 4 ladies. We'll see you next time.
Hey, money queens, looking to get your wealth to that next level, 7, 8, 9 figures? Follow us on Instagram at PinkFixMyMoney and at Women's Wealth Boutique for more millionaire money tips.